In today's class, we will study the third mode of heat transfer, radiation. We have studied the two modes of transfer of heat, conduction, which takes place in solids, and convection, which takes place in liquids and gases. But have you ever thought that how heat reaches to us from the sun? There is no atmosphere in most of the space between the sun and the earth. Still, heat is transferred from the sun by the mode of radiation. Radiation is the process of heat transfer in which heat directly passes from one body which is at higher temperature to another body at lower temperature without affecting the medium. Thus, in radiation, no medium is required. Transfer of heat takes place through vacuum. That is why when we sit in the sun we feel warm, because heat reaches to us from the sun by radiation. Here conduction and convection cannot take place because there is no medium in the space, and heat transfer by conduction and convection require a medium. When we sit near fire, we are not in direct contact of heat, so heat cannot transfer through conduction. Also, when heat transfer from convection, the heated air moves upward, not in the side, so heat cannot reach us by convection also, but still we feel warm because of the heat transfer by radiation. Just like light, heat also travels in a straight line with the speed of 3 into 10 raised to the power 8 meter per second in vacuum or air. When these radiations fall on any surface, some are absorbed while rest are reflected in the atmosphere. The substance which absorbs more radiation get more warmer in comparison to the substance which absorbs less radiations. When you will keep two metallic plates in the sun, one black and other white, you will notice that the temperature of black plate will be much higher than the temperature of white plate after some time. This happens because black surfaces absorbs most of the heat, therefore they get more heated, while white surfaces reflect most of the heat, due to which they do not get much heated. Now let us discuss some applications of black and white surfaces in daily life. We prefer to wear white clothes in summer so that most of the heat can be reflected, keeping our body cool, while in winter we wear black or dark colored clothes because they absorb most of the heat, thus they keep our body warm. In room heaters, a silver reflector is used because shiny surfaces reflect most of the heat, due to which almost all the heat is reflected in the room, keeping the room warm. We use thermos flask in everyday life to keep hot liquid hot and cold liquid cold for a longer duration of time. In a thermos flask, there is a glass bottle which is double walled. Between the two walls of the bottle, vacuum is created. Outer side of the inner wall and inner side of the outer wall are polished silver. A stopper is used to close the mouth of the bottle. The whole glass bottle is enclosed in a plastic case with the help of a spring which work as a shock absorber. We know that heat transfer can take place through conduction, convection and radiation. In thermos flask, the vacuum created between the two walls of the glass bottle prevent any heat loss by conduction and convection, as a medium is required for the heat transfer through conduction and convection. In convection, the hot air rises up, but the stopper at the mouth of the flask do not allow the heat to move out of the flask, thus prevent any heat loss by convection. Outer side of the inner glass wall and inner side of the outer glass wall are made shiny, due to which heat will not be absorbed, but most of the heat will be reflected back into the flask. Thus, no heat will be transferred by radiation also. Therefore, heat transfer from inside to outside and from outside to inside is very less. So, the temperature inside the flask remains almost constant. Therefore, hot liquid remains hot and cold liquid remains cold for the longer duration of time.